Second Cardinals football here on the Burns and Gambo Show. Preseason game number 1 in the books. They will practice, I think, once or twice in Arizona, then off to Denver for a joint practice this week against the Broncos on Friday, and then preseason game number 2 against the Broncos. We'll see in that game how much Kyler plays, if at all. I don't know. I know this after watching that game on Saturday. And it's an important position. Don't make no mistake about it. It's a very important thing. Jacoby Brissett looked just as smooth as could be. Operating behind what I thought was a pretty shaky second unit offensive line. I thought Jacoby Brissett looked really good on Saturday night.
The first series didn't amount to very much. I'm just going to my notes right here. They didn't do anything with the ball his first time when he came in. But after that, I thought he was absolutely terrific. First of all, this is a veteran. He's a good quarterback. You can win games. What do we always say about backup quarterbacks? If you got to rely on a backup quarterback to play the whole season, the chances are you're not going to do very well. Now, there's been examples. Jeff Hostetler replaced Phil Simms when Simms got hurt and led the Giants to a Super Bowl.
Nick Foles won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Vince Ferragamo replaced Pat Hayden, led them to a Super Bowl. They lost to the Steelers.
Why are my examples always like 10 years old and your examples are always 50 years old? I'm just asking for a friend. Why is that?
My brain goes back to the 70s and 80s.
Why is it Gambo's referring to players from the 80s, and I'm referring to players from the 2000 and teens? Why is that?
I think Ferragamo and Hayden was 79. Lauren's like, who's Vince Ferragamo?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying there are more recent examples.
I know.
Guys
my brain does not work that way.
I know.
I start from the beginning and then I go to the end.
Okay, is that what it is?
I take the book from the beginning.
You're an Old Testament kind of a guy, and I'm a New Testament kind of a guy. Is that how it goes?
You like to go to the middle of the book. I go to the beginning. What do I remember first?
Okay.
And then I work periodically. So I work from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s. You kind of you work backwards.
I jump ahead a little bit, yeah.
You work backwards.
Yeah.
Here's the thing on Jacoby Brissett. You can win games with him, man. This guy's got a lot of experience as a quarterback. He started for a number of years. He's a quality player in this league. He's got over 11,000 passing yards. He's got 53 touchdowns. He's got 87 regular season appearances. You couldn't do any better, in my opinion. I think he's a terrific backup quarterback because, again, if Kyler Murray goes down for 16 games, okay, it's a problem. Kyler Murray goes down for 4, I can win 2 or 3 games with Jacoby Brissett.
That's all you need.
I'm not going to go 0-4. Clayton Tune's your quarterback. I don't know if you win any. Seriously, Clayton Tune threw an interception in a game.
Yes, he did.
But, he doesn't have experience. You can't count on Clayton Tune. But Jacoby Brissett, okay, that guy knows how to run an offense. He's big. He's strong. He's a good football player.
Jonathan Ganon on the Cardinals radio network talking about the Cardinals backup quarterback.
Yeah, he made some plays. He made some big-time throws in there. He got hit early twice, I think. And then, again, he's a vet, man. He's a good player. And that 2-minute drill too, that got a little funky because we had a bunch of timeouts, so we really weren't in 2 minutes till under a minute or so, trying to kind of bleed him out there. And then we had the injury timeout, so we lost the timeout there. And Jacoby, I thought, did it really when he can scramble, when he can't scramble, when he has to get it up and down to the end zone because we're trying to save timeouts to be able to run it on the last play there. But he operated like a true vet, man. Complete command, and it was good to see the offense there leak, that much time off the clock on a 9-play drive and come away with 7 points. That was huge.
Most impressive drive of the entire day. They got the ball just over 2 minutes left. You go to Higgins, you go to Weaver for 12. You got a run by Amari. They took a shot down the field. They got pass interference. Memo to Kyler Murray. Take those shots down the field. If you don't get a completion, sometimes you can get pass interference. They got the PI with Brissett going to Weaver. Then he threw it to Amari, got 13 yards on that play. You go to Jacoby, ran for 10. He ran for 10 yards. Nice little run right there. And then when they got right near the end zone, it was pass to Higgins, but there was a penalty. Then pass to Palmer, then pass to Weaver. They didn't run it. I was really surprised at that. We're going to throw the ball here. We're right down at the 1-yard line. We're going to throw. They got the touchdown, 4 seconds left. It was a great drive. It was a really great drive.
It was, and I think now Kyler's been around the league long enough. All right, he's not a kid anymore. When we had him on last week, he was going to celebrate his birthday the next day. He's going to turn 28 years old, and I bring that up because a lot of times you want a veteran quarterback to be your backup, to be sort of that stabilizing force in the room, to kind of balance it out a little bit and be a sounding board for the younger quarterback. I don't think Kyler needs that anymore. I think we're way past the point of Kyler, needing his Colt McCoy, right? Like for the longest time, that was kind of Colt McCoy's role, is I'm going to be kind of the veteran guy in the room, and we're going to see things together, and we're going to talk about things together.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what makes Jacoby Brissett so valuable. I don't. I think Kyler's evolved beyond that. I think what makes Jacoby Brissett so valuable is exactly what you said. If something happens to Kyler and he's got to miss 3 or 4 games, you don't feel like the season's lost because of that. You don't feel like you can't operate because of that. I can't remember exactly the play on that last drive there at the end of the first half. It was probably the pass to Amari DiMercato. Just watching Brissett very smoothly operate in the pocket, feel the pressure, step up just a little, right? I mean, I just like a surgeon back there, just kind of, okay, I feel it. I'm going to move up. I'm going to make the pass over the middle. And just watching him operate, you go, oh, yeah, that's smooth.
Yeah.
That's the really
play.
Just pretty quarterback play.
Always liked him. Always liked him. Always liked Jacoby Brissett. He's just that guy. Like, there's probably 5 teams in this league he could start for, probably, that he could be a starting quarterback on. But, like, when they do the list of here's the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL, he's going to be high on that list of the best backups.
Sure.
If he's not, something's wrong because he's that good. Like, there are plenty of quarterbacks that are backups that have a lot of experience. Jimmy Garoppolo has a lot of experience. There are plenty of guys like that. Jacoby Brissett is a quality backup quarterback, and I think he really. Now the question is, do you cut tune?
I don't know.
Do you just
thinking
carry
about that
2?
Saturday night. I was thinking about that.
Do you try to put him on the practice squad? Like, what do you? They have so much depth at so many key positions that it's going to be fascinating to see if Monty Ossenfort says, you know what? I'd rather have an extra defensive lineman than a third quarterback.
I heard Calvisi talking about that when I got in the car about halfway through the fourth quarter and I was driving home. And it was kind of something we had said last week. Like, for the first time really in a while, the Arizona Cardinals are going to cut coveted players at cutdown day. They are. Players who are usually we're watching to see what other teams are doing and who they're cutting. I think the Cardinals have gotten to the point now where they're going to be cutting players. Other teams are going to be watching the Cardinals to see who they make available, and that makes the quarterback decision very interesting.
Because you could hang on to an extra guy if you can only keep 2.
I also thought of it in terms of the rest of the preseason. Like no offense to Clayton Tune, I don't need to see a whole lot more of Jacoby Brissett. You know, like I don't want, especially behind that second unit offensive line,
risk him getting
where
injured.
It was a little dicey. Yeah, I mean there were a couple of moments, especially that first drive, where
He
it was
got
a
hit.
little. He
got hit.
I didn't like seeing that. Although we were talking about the rookies earlier, and since we're talking about Jacoby Brissett, I will bring this up. Hayden Connor, the 6th rounder out of Texas. He had a couple of shaky moments because they're basically converting him to center, or at least they're giving him some looks at center. He's kind of a guard by nature.
He played a lot.
He played clean.
Lot. I thought he was good.
His snaps to Jacoby Brissett and the operation I thought was a clean one between Hayden Connor and Jacoby Brissett. It was the rest of the offensive line I wasn't super pleased with, and then Christian Jones had to leave the game with an injury.
Nobody played more snaps than him.
But it was nice to see. It was nice to see because he's kind of adjusting to this new role, and I thought it wasn't always so great in training camp between the two of them.
Here's what Jacoby Brissett did that a lot of other quarterbacks can't. The touchdown to Weaver. That ball was snapped by the ground.
Yeah.
It was touching the blades of the grass. That snap was so low. A lot of quarterbacks, first of all, they're going to fumble it because it's that low. They're going to fumble it, or they're going to panic because it's going to take their eyes off the. Jacoby Brissett, cool as a cucumber, takes the ball almost off the ground, low snap, quick pitch, hits Weaver, touchdown. That's a really smart, good play by a quarterback.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.